Welcome to Crossbody of Work. My name is Evan.
I am Javier.
This week, we are looking at the career of newly minted WWE Hall of Famer Stacy Keibler. Excellent.
The Keibler elf,
Yeah.
the longest legged Keibler elf, the blondest Keibler
There's a
elf.
reason she didn't fit in with the rest of the Keibler elves. She is 14 times taller than any of them. And she didn't want to make cookies. She wanted to wrestle.
Yeah, she wanted to make the Hall of Fame.
The Keibler elves, what cookies do they make?
Aren't those the ones that make the cookies that look like colorful chocolate chips? Like they're like Oreos kind of, but not copyrighted Oreos.
They make the
Not Oreos, M&M ones,
They
but
make
they're
the
not
fudge,
copyrighted M&Ms, I should say.
Yeah, the Chips Deluxe. They make the fudge stripe ones, the Coconut Dreams. I don't know anybody who's.
Look, man. I don't eat those types of cookies because I just assume they all have chocolate, and I'm the weird guy that doesn't like chocolate.
You are the weird guy who doesn't like chocolate. Comes to Canada, I try to show them all the different things Canada has. Half of what we have that's different from America is chocolate.
It was everything except for the soda and a handful of chips.
Yeah, but shout out to cream soda. Before we talk about the career of Stacy Keibler, we have to talk about WrestleMania 39. We have to.
Actually, no. We have to talk about who the hell we are.
Yeah, I guess that too. Yeah, we already said we're Evan. I'm Evan. That's Javier. We cover a wrestler through 5 of their most important matches. We do all that fun stuff every week. This is episode 159. We've been out here doing these things. But now that we've set that aside, we have to talk about WrestleMania 39, which was fantastic.
Yes. This has been an absolutely just a roller coaster of a week as a pro wrestling fan.
Yes. One high, one low.
One high, one low, and then it just keeps going on, and there's stuff in the ring, there's stuff out of the ring, there's personal stuff that we are not going to get into.
Nope.
Cough, cough, Guerrero family.
Nope.
Not doing that. That's as far into that one as I'm going to go. And then we do WrestleMania.
Believe survivors.
Yes.
So we'll throw it there. Yep.
And now we talk about WrestleMania. Night 1, fucking fantastic.
I was trying to
not a single miss.
I was trying to describe it to a non-wrestling fan friend, and I said, usually on WrestleManias, or at least one night of WrestleMania, there's some lulls. The first night of 39, no misses. Everything was at minimum good.
The only miss was the Pat McAfee stuff.
And
even
I was
that
like,
is
fine.
That could be removed.
Yeah, even that was fine little palate cleanser. That was all right.
I like George Kittle,
Who do you think? I need you to pick just 3 people. Who do you think had the best performances on night 1?
Night 1 best performances. Okay, individuals. What if it's a tag match?
It can be a tag match, and you can count the team together.
Well, okay. I think the Usos were low-key the MVPs of the night. I'm not going to lie to you. I think as a unit, they were freaking amazing. Obviously, the story is what carried that match, but I thought Jimmy and Jay absolutely held their own. Jay specifically was excellent in that match. Man, I got to say, Dominic fucking Mysterio is so good.
Dominic gets it. I saw somebody say that Dominic is what Austin Theory should be. Dominic has maybe much more potential in terms of the character side of the business than Austin Theory does.
Not even close to me. I mean, the guy is just... honestly, he's so good at being a heel that at this point, I don't even know what he would look like as a babyface. I don't even know if I can like this guy.
Also, shout out to the Mysterio clan in general. All of them are so good at the wrestling business. I love it.
It's so weird because, all right, Aaliyah, she's the daughter. She could have had some sort of training, all this stuff. But his wife, Angie, she just freaking gets it. Angie with the perfect facial expressions. The slaps were on point every single time, both nights, on SmackDown and on night 1. And it's just, man, just the entire thing. Also, like it's not even just. I'll give Dom the MVP award for the whole weekend because what he did at the on SmackDown was obviously fun, and then the Hall of Fame where he and the rest of the Judgment Day crew just walked out right at the beginning of Rey Mysterio's speech, leading into night one, where he has one of the best entrances you'll ever seen. Unfortunately, his dad topped him with it.
That's true. Rey's entrance was incredible.
But still, it was an absolutely incredible entrance. The kid just gets it. And I call him a kid. He's older than I am.
I'll call him kid. Yeah, the kid gets it.
He's older than I am, but man, he fucking understands it.
So
and he's excellent heel. He's an excellent heel. Usos, Dom. And, I just have to say it. The Street Profits were really fucking good, but they're really not good. The MVP of that match. Chad Gable,
yes,
is without a doubt, in my opinion, aside from Dominic Mysterio, the MVP of the entire weekend.
I think Chad Gable looked amazing. That match was one of my favorite showcase style matches. Everybody got something good out of it, which is sometimes rare for those showcases. I also would have Dom, the Usos. I think other people who deserve shout-outs, everybody was great. Rhea and Charlotte tore the house down in a match that nobody was pumped for in terms of the build, but the actual match was incredible. Seth fucking Rollins. My God. Yeah. He can do no wrong. He
don't miss.
When people are talking, and there was this clip that went viral ahead of WrestleMania where he was being interviewed and he said, like, here are the people I consider to be the best wrestlers in the world. Like, it's a tier. And he said, himself, he said Roman, he said Becky Lynch, and then he said, like, Moxley and I think Omega, or the AEW names he said. He's like, ooh.
He's always spoken highly of Kenny.
People sometimes, I think because Seth was so prominent for so long, that they just kind of take it for granted. Seth Rollins is so fucking good at wrestling. He gets it. Like, Logan Paul is not as successful in this match if it's against somebody else. But shout out to his splash on KSI, because that was fucking hilarious.
I also love how he like bounces off of him in a funny way because of the suit.
Oh, yeah.
It made it even better. It was even better. I thought that was an excellent match. I like the build to it too. I think Seth was doing a lot of great character work. I will say, like, I'm not the biggest fan of the current Seth Rollins character. He's
weird.
I know he's a baby face, but he acts like as he did when he was a heel, and it's like kind of weird. I don't fully know what he's going for with it, but it's over as fuck, so I'll let it be. And if I just keep getting Seth Rollins matches, whether that be every Monday or every pay-per-view or whatever it may be, just let me get it, because I can watch that man go bell to bell with absolutely anyone and be entertained.
Let's talk the top performances night 2. Give me 3 people who had the best performances. Night 2, not as good as night 1. I will say that. Still amazing. Still an amazing night.
Look, the first 2 matches, the Omos Brock match, like, that was cool, I guess.
Fine.
But it didn't do it for me. Didn't do it for me. The women's tag match, they did their best, but the chemistry wasn't there. It didn't end up working out. I actually thought that the Asuka Bianca Belair match was pretty good.
I liked it.
It wasn't as good as any of the 2 previous matches Bianca's had at WrestleMania, but I thought it was solid for what it was. Those are not my MVPs. 2 of my MVP awards go to the main event.
Yeah,
because
I thought that
Cody and Roman absolutely delivered, but the finish was flat. It was a very flat finish, and I fucking hated it. And for that reason alone, that match I left the entire weekend with a sour taste in my mouth. But I will say, leading up to it, they had me at the edge of my seat. They had my father, who only watched Night with me. He was at the edge of his seat for that whole show. But my girlfriend was at the edge of her seat. She was really invested as well. And look, it just they in my opinion, they delivered. Yeah. They set this up as a big stakes main event. They made it personal. They really built up Cody as best they could. And in my opinion, they absolutely delivered on every aspect of the match itself until the finish. And we can get more into that in a little bit here. But
who's your third?
As far as my third, I gotta say Gunther. Man.
Yeah, it's got to be Gunther.
I gotta say Gunther.
Yeah. Though,
I did not come out of this weekend higher on anyone than Gunther.
No,
I can
push
tell
him
you
to the
that.
moon. I think you and I talked about it should be Carmelo Hayes versus Gunther at WrestleMania 40.
Yeah, and I'd be absolutely okay with that.
Absolutely. The other person who deserves props as an MVP, fucking Snoop Doggy Dogg. It's now been dissected to death on the internet, the fact that Shane McMahon just blew his quad out and could not go. And on the fly with the cameraman, also shout out MVP Jess Carr, the referee.
Yes.
Everybody figured out on the go. Snoop doesn't have any elbow pads to throw when he has to do this impromptu people's elbow, so he just whips his sunglasses into the stands. Snoop Dogg is a national treasure.
Snoop Dogg is awesome, man. He was all over the show as he fucking should have been. Like, Snoop Dogg's great, man. You're not going to find many entertainers in the industry who are better than this man at any form of entertaining. He sees the people, he entertains them. That's what Snoop Dogg does.
People love Snoop. Also, I want to give a shout out to myself. The way that WrestleMania Night 2 was going, I was like, wow, we're going to get a really, really long main event. So I put out a tweet saying, how long do you think the main event will be? I'm setting the line at 34 and a half minutes. How long do you think the main event went?
34 and a half minutes?
34 minutes, 35 seconds. Bell to bell.
Oh, my God.
Hire me. Hire
Wow.
me, Vegas. Hire me. I've got this.
Shit, really? It was 34 and a half minutes, bell to bell?
Which I think makes it the third longest WrestleMania match of all time. Behind the Iron Man match, and maybe Edge Orton was higher when they had that really weird, really convoluted match a couple years ago.
Yeah, that last man standing match that wouldn't end.
That would not end. I don't really want to talk about how depressing Monday Night Raw was this week.
I do. What the fuck was that? There was there were 3 matches. I think the in-ring wrestling total of it was something along the lines of 20 minutes for the 3 matches. It was not there weren't any good promos really. Cody was like, yeah, I want to face you, and then Roman just kind of bitched out. It made Roman look worse, that whole segment. It made Cody look I don't know, like a dunce a little bit. And then
Brock decides to beat up Cody.
Brock just comes back, and then there's no match. He just beats up Cody, and then he just keeps beating on him. And look, I get it. They're probably going the John Cena 2012 route, and that's cool. I love John Cena. Love John Cena in 2012. We'll love John Cena in friggin' 3012 if I'm still alive for some goddamn reason. But at some point we got to be realistic with ourselves here and realize that Cody Rhodes is not better coming out of WrestleMania. No. He's worse, and I don't think he's ever really going to get back to where he was, unfortunately. But I do think there's still potential there for him to be a main event star, like a super duper star and possible face of this company type star. But man, they are going to put that man through the ringer, both professionally and as a character. And I am not looking forward to seeing it. But at least there's other good shit on the show potentially that we can build to that'll keep it afloat in the meantime.
Who? Just one word, one name. Who dethrones Roman?
Jey Uso.
It's Jey. It has to be Jey.
Yeah.
When?
It has to be Jey. I look, I want to say SummerSlam. I really do, but honestly, I think it could even go as far as Survivor Series.
Crazy things. All right, let's talk about the woman of the hour. Let's talk about Stacy Keibler. Stacy Keibler, as it made the rounds on the Twitter, was actually a fan of wrestling. She began watching wrestling with her boyfriend, Chris Cumberland, and she can be seen in the crowd in an episode of Nitro and at the Starrcade 1998 pay-per-view. Dancing in an NWO Wolfpack t-shirt. She is a woman of taste. Wolfpack for life. Do you know how she...
I don't even know what the Wolfpack was. Is that the Kevin Nash one with the red?
Kevin Nash and Conan one, yeah. Now, do you know how she entered WCW? Do you know what her route in was?
Was she a Nitro girl?
She absolutely was. She won a contest to become a Nitro girl. 300 women participated in the contest, and she was declared the winner on November 8th, 1999, receiving the most online votes of the 8 finalists. And so she was given a spot in the dance troupe and a $10,000 prize. Her winning routine was watched by 4.4 million viewers. I think that WWE would murder somebody for 4.4 million viewers right now. Vince would kill a stranger on the street for 4.4 million viewers.
What
Anyone
was
at
that
random.
thing a while back that got like 1 million views on Twitter? There was like a segment from like the last like 2 or 3 weeks that got 1 million views on Twitter,
Oh,
and people were like,
it was the Ray Dominic confrontation right before.
yeah, and people were like that. Oh my god, this is like WWE must be fucking pissing themselves. They got this many interactions on something.
So by the year 2000, Stacy was appearing on WCW as a Nitro Girl, attending school full time, and was a cheerleader for the Baltimore Ravens. A busy woman, she can do it all. Yeah.
How old was she?
Probably early 20s, I would assume.
Jesus.
Then she started getting a more on-screen role as Miss Hancock. That was her name. Also, by my count, she was 21 years old doing this.
Wow.
Good for her.
She was a cheerleader for a professional football team while going to school while being on Nitro at the age of 21.
Yeah, she's super talented. Hall of Famer.
That
During
is
the year
hard work.
2000, she dated David Flair, both on and off screen, who was already involved in an on-screen relationship with Daphne. R.I.P. to Daphne. Miss Hancock set her eyes on Flair and ended up stealing him away from Daphne and continued to torment her. And that led to our first match. It is an evening gown match at Bash the Beach 2000. Stacy Keibler, technically Miss Hancock, versus Daphne. We usually have a rule on this podcast to try not to put matches that involve the taking off of clothes for anybody, because it's not usually the best representation of somebody's ring career. I would let everyone know that according to Profile DB, Stacy Keibler has 64 career matches. This is one of her most prominent matches. That's why we're covering it. It's also a weird train wreck.
I will also say, as far as the removing of clothing, this is probably as tame as that's going to get.
Correct. What did you think of this contest?
This had the worst video package I have ever seen.
Yes.
I don't know if you watched it. It is the worst. Like, whoever edited it needed, I don't know if they're still even an employee anywhere or something, but if they are, I hope it's at like fucking Home Depot and not anywhere where they get to edit videos, because this is bad. This is real bad. This is like I told you before this recording, I have like zero video editing experience. Evan, this is probably what it would look like if you told me to edit this podcast for some reason in a video platform.
That sounds right.
At one point, they put in the bottom corner some text that said, "A long-legged hussy has stolen my fiance."
I think I had skipped by that point.
Oh, buddy, I saw the whole thing. A matter of fact, I put it down to regular speed so I could watch it.
It's really digest.
It's a whole ass mess. Just a whole ass mess. It's so bad.
All of this for Stacy's in-ring debut. This is her first in-ring contest.
Brother, all of this for David Flair.
Also an important point. So there's a wedding cake, there's an arch, the whole nine. David Flair, for some reason, has hair clippers. We'll get to that later. Daphne in the all-black gown, because that's part of the Daphne gimmick, while Miss Hancock and David are making out in the ring when she enters. And Daphne takes her sweet time, calmly takes her shoes off, and then low blows David in a way that I'm pretty sure she just punched him in the ass.
No, she used a shoe.
Oh, it was the shoe. Oh, that's why her hand was farther up.
Yeah, she used a shoe.
I was just trying to fist him? Like, what's happening here?
She immediately jubs Stacy, tosses her veil off. So that's item number one.
Item one. Gone. Put it on the board.
David grabs Daphne and helps Stacy stomp on her.
David is fully involved in this match. He is not letting her have a match.
David wrestles more in this match than either one of the two women, which is just bad.
Than I've ever seen David wrestle before.
I've never seen a David Flair match. This is the first David Flair match. Honestly, if you had told me to guess what David Flair looks like, this is not what I would guess David Flair looks like.
No?
No, I would have been like, I don't know.
He looks like pre-plane crash Ric Flair.
No, he looks like the asshole in one of those 90s team.
Yeah,
comedies.
He looks like the bad guy in Euro Trip, but that's fine.
It's bad. It's real bad.
Miss Hancock puts Daphne in the corner. We get a backspring elbow. That happens.
It's the worst backspring.
The backspring part is very good. The
elbow though. She looks back, she stops, looks back for a second, then jumps back and does the elbow. It's real bad.
Daphne brings down Miss Hancock. Snapmare, second snapmare, very deliberate looking snapmares too. Miss Hancock wants to put Daphne in a cake, but can't quite get her there. Then we get this weird thing where David pulls Daphne off of Miss Hancock. The ref pulls Miss Hancock away, and then both women slap the men, which is
for no reason.
They're getting involved in their match. Tell them to fuck off. They pull them away again. The ref and David pull the women away from each other again. Miss Hancock low blows and pantses the ref. What a hot start to your first ever match. This authority figure, and you're like, no. We pants him, and we notice that he has his shirt tucked in to his tighty whities.
Those were tighty whities? I thought it was a jock strap.
They were meant to be tight and white, and they were neither.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh.
David gets pants too, and when he gets pants, he's like a deer in headlights. He just freezes.
He's just standing there. He's just frozen, there. Just kind of like shifting. It's kind of like John Travolta's character in Pulp Fiction when he's just doing the looking back and forth.
Vincent Vega's looking for shit. Yeah. It's awkward. David gets dropped down. Miss Hancock gets run head first into David's groin. So, consummate the marriage. That's fun.
Does that count?
Nope.
David grabs Daphne and they go to shear her hair
which I didn't realize was part of this.
Crowbar comes and smashes David. Then he takes off his own pants.
Honestly, I love Crowbar. He's out there.
I don't know who Crowbar is.
He was associated with Daphne for a long time. He's out there, he back suplexes David, and then realizes, hey, everybody's got their pants off. Why do I got pants? Doesn't make any sense. Let me just I'm reading the room. I get the vibe. Pants off, dance off.
Evan, you walk into a room.
Yep.
You cannot exit this room for whatever reason. It's not that you're trapped against your will or anything. You just know, I can't leave this room for whatever reason.
Yep.
Everyone has their pants off.
Yeah.
Are you taking your pants off?
I'm asking one person, like, what's the deal? Like, hey, between you and me.
It is not a sex thing.
No, like, why has everybody got their pants off? And they're like, oh, it's hot. It's the humidity. It's not the heat, it's the humidity. I'd be like, all right, word.
Is that the only reason? What if they're like, we just felt like it?
Oh, if it's vibes, sure, why not? Who am I to ruin the party? I walk in, they're like, hey, look at this fucking nerd. He's got his pants on. No, not a chance.
Anyways, we get a front suplex from Crowbar. Then he drags David to the corner and starts choking him in the corner with his pants.
Daphne gets the hair clippers. She's going to shave David's head. And Miss Hancock comes in with a mic and loses the match promptly.
Yeah, she says, hit my music, to which they do, and then she strips.
And since her gown is off, she loses. David gets cake in Crowbar's face. Hancock is going to take her top off at one point, but gets cake in the face from Daphne. Hancock gets Daphne in the face with a bigger cake. Mike Tenay sums it up perfectly on commentary. What the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
What a debut. So Keibler and Flair then began a feud with the Misfits in Action stable, which we all know for the excellent name Hugh G. Rection. She had a mud wrestling singles match against Major Guns. God, names in the early 2000s were just so
Look, man. She had Major Guns.
It was at New Blood Rising. During the match, she was kicked in the stomach and revealed herself to be pregnant the next night, beginning a new angle for herself and David Flair. And since there was a pregnancy involved, it was time for a wedding. And that is our promo this week, is the wedding of David Flair and Stacy Keibler.
Do you mean to tell me that Stacy never had a pipe bomb? She never had she never had a fucking Hard Times promo? Nothing like that?
No. Stacy had no real memorable dressing down of like Nydia or anything like that.
Are you sure?
Not that I found. If somebody has one and they want to send it to me, I'd be happy to read it or hear it.
Because there's just a lot of David Flair going on. Like at this point, this has become a David Flair episode. I don't know what's going on.
It won't be after this. David's there. He sees Daphne and they're friendly now as he's getting out of the limo, which I was like, okay, well, that's growth.
I was so confused.
Daphne looks so different because her hair is different.
Yeah, it's like shorter. She really does at this point look like Victoria Valentino or whatever.
Vicky Valancourt from The Waterboy. Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Vicky Valancourt. We totally did not Google that before this podcast or anything.
Mama says. Anyways, so we're in the ring, but before we get to the ring for the actual wedding, Stacy gets a letter, and it's not good news, but we do not get to find out more. Crowbar and Daphne in the ring. Nitro Girl Baby is a bridesmaid. Stacy's actual parents are here, which I find very funny. She comes
out with her parents, which, spoiler for the rest of the segment, won't be the first time that she comes out with her parents.
David asks for Arn Anderson to come out. We do not know if Ric Flair's here or not at this point. Arn gives some weird old man advice to David. God. It's so uncomfortable.
He said David looks good, and then he says there's going to be 3 rules to marriage. Rule number 1: if your friend's ever in town and you're like, oh, let's go to a strip club, let's go to a party, let's go to a whatever. He says, remember, it's best to get forgiveness, not permission.
It's easier to get forgiveness instead of permission.
And then rule number 2 is. He's going to get some wedding money for this stuff. He says to put it in his pockets.
Yeah, hide it away.
Yeah, and then rule number 3, to me, was unclear. I didn't know what the fuck he was saying, but something about domestic violence that was mentioned.
It was like, if you come home and you're stinking drunk and she's asking where you've been, she'll be mad at you at first, and then she'll say, okay, go rest, honey. That's when you need to really worry, is when she's calm again, and you got to take that hidden money and run. It was weird as shit. I didn't understand. David says one more person is missing. Ric Flair, come on down. For some context, they had been feuding. Ric has forgiven his son. They were feuding because David had joined NWO Elite, which I think is the Patreon membership of the NWO.
Are you sure it's not the AEW branch of the NWO?
And also, for context, we are in Charlotte, North Carolina. We are in Flair country for this wedding.
Woo!
Yeah. The priest starts talking, and who comes out to the ring?
A bunch of guys in suits and cops.
We learn from the lead cop, I guess, that Vince Russo has a restraining order against Ric Flair, and since he is within 100 yards of the arena, Ric is going to get arrested for violating the restraining order. So Ric is here for his son's wedding for 75 seconds?
Yeah, and then Stacy leaves the ring because I guess she's distraught. And then I guess there's a commercial break in real time. But also, for us, there wasn't.
Also, Crowbar this whole fucking time has been in the ring in a top hat, a sleeveless tuxedo t-shirt, and jeans. That's the real star.
That's commitment.
He looks like Starburns from Community. It's exactly what Crowbar looks like at that moment. Shout out to Starburns. Like you mentioned, there is a commercial break. When we get back, Stacy's backstage with David. He wants her to come back and get married, but she's hesitant. Nothing like a false start at your wedding.
Yeah. She says there's been enough bad luck, but he somehow convinces her to go out again, to which she does. She comes out with her parents hooked up to her arm. She does the walk a second time.
Yeah, nothing like a practice run.
What is this? This is like the worst episode of Love is Blind I have ever seen.
The priest does the thing the priests do, where they
talk forever.
Talks forever. Really thankful that my wedding was pretty fast. My wedding did not have it.
We were in and out. That was kind of impressive.
My wedding also did not have this part, which is you ask, should anyone have reason that these two should not be united in marriage? And who ruins it?
It's Stacy Keibler raises her hand.
Like she's in
an objection. Yeah, like very sheeply, just says she's pregnant. That's true. When David asks, oh my God, are you not pregnant? Is there no baby? And he goes, no, I'm pregnant, but you're not the father. And then she runs away.
David is an atrocious actor. He's bad. But I would like anyone who wants to go watch this. And when she delivers that line, please watch Arn Anderson's face behind David.
I didn't see that.
It's flawless. The perfect mix of like, I'm too old for this, but also the tea. Like he's somehow he's like, I don't know what's going on, but I hate it. I also love
Do
that
you
she
know who
says
the real father was? Did you look up who the reveal was for?
there were 2 proposed endings for the storyline.
It didn't have an ending?
No. Well, it does. It's just not good. I would like you to guess who the two proposed fathers were.
Ric Flair.
That's one of them.
Arn Anderson.
Nope.
Crowbar?
No, but it's another name I've mentioned since we started talking about WCW.
Kevin Nash?
No.
Conan? I don't know, man.
Vince Russo. That was one of the 2 proposed endings to the storyline. The angle instead was ended prematurely. She revealed the pregnancy was false, broke up with David Flair, and was taken off television. We are going to take a break. When we get back, Stacy is going to WWF. So when WCW was purchased by the WWF in 2001, Stacy's Time Warner contract was bought by WWF. She made her debut June 14th, 2001 as a face. She brought her to the ring to distract heel Rhino, causing him to lose a match, but then she turned heel and joined the Alliance.
Nice.
We got our first match, and it's right before the winner-take-all Invasion Survivor Series match 2001, which we've covered in a mini-sode. Go listen to that. It is a tag match at Rebellion 2001. It's Stacy Keibler with Mighty Molly versus Lita and Tori Wilson. Special guest referee Trish Stratus. So 5, important women in the, this era of women's wrestling all in one match in a tag match. What do you think?
Do you want to know my favorite part of all of these matches that we covered this week was?
Tell me.
It was Paul Heyman having his Charlemagne the God moment right at the beginning of this clip. It's not even the match. It's the clip pretty much where he just goes, Trish looks better with her top off.
I thought I had heard this incorrectly. I thought I was losing my mind because it's such an out-of-pocket thing to say. Paul Heyman has replaced Jerry the King Lawler in commentary and just gone farther than he ever would. So I started the clip, I heard that, and I paused, and I'm like, that can't possibly be what he said. I go back to regular speed, I rewind, play it again, and I hear it again. I feel like I was like examining the Zapruder film. I was like, there's no way.
And to the left.
So
Back.
that happens. Stacy, at this point, for context, is the Duchess of Dudleyville. She's managing the heel Invasion Dudley Boys. Paul also says that Stacy's existence turns him on. JR sets him up to change the subject, and he says it again.
Yeah, I'm just going to tell you right now, I ignored him for the rest of this match. He was just in full-on ignored. My man he said the most out-of-pocket thing to start this clip. I tuned him out.
Then you missed this. About Lita, Paul Heyman, unprovoked, says this, little-known trivia fact, we wear the same style of underwear. Paul Heyman is unhinged. I don't know what he was just drunk on the Invasion Kool-Aid, and he was going bananas.
Heyman's a menace. Anyways, Stacy starts the match off with Tori Wilson. She does a snapmare at the beginning, and then at one point they just kept countering each other with cartwheels.
Athleticism.
Yeah, athleticism was cool. I don't know. Cool. Don't see that many. Also, like, cartwheels were kind of perfect from both of them. Not even just
they're
Stacy. Tori were great. Don't see that a lot nowadays. Evan, can you cartwheel?
No, absolutely not.
Really?
No.
I don't know. I feel like I could. I haven't done a cartwheel since I was like 7 years old, but I probably feel like I could.
I'm built like fucking BB-8. Like, I can't do a cartwheel. Are you shitting me? What do you think I can do?
BB-8. That's giving yourself a lot of credit there, R2-D2.
Hey, man, he's a staple of the series. Rate Tori Wilson's dropkick.
-5.
Okay, cool. Tori with a schoolboy for a 2. Tagged Lita. Stacy runs back into the corner out of fear and yet does not tag in Molly.
Yeah, she's like scared. And then Lita hits a back suplex.
Yeah.
Tori tags in. She does like a hesitation kick. She like hesitates and she does it. And it doesn't even look like she honestly hit Stacy, even though she was right in front of her.
No.
And then she slaps her.
Yep.
And then she just, I think it's her that runs the ropes. and Molly from the
Kicks her in the
corner
back.
kicks her in the back,
Yeah.
and she tags in and starts laying the smackdown on her.
Mighty
And at one
Molly.
point, I heard Heyman say something. I don't remember what it was. All I wrote is Heyman is a menace, but he is a fucking menace.
The difference in wrestling experience and training between Molly and Lita versus Tori and Stacy is notable. Like, it's clear. Yeah. Molly gets in the ring and is just like clinical at this point. Like, she looks like she's Daniel Bryan. She's just walking. She's like, all right,
Danielson
elbows. And then Stacy actually gets a little offense. She does like the standing foot choke in, which is like her best offense.
Yeah, she's got long ass leg and she chokes people in the corner with it.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman probably said something about it.
He probably did. Trish breaks it up. Molly gets another cheap shot in on Tori. Molly knocks Lita off the apron, and then we get a double submission by Stacy and Molly, and I actually like this spot.
Yeah, there was like a tandem, like Molly threw on a camel clutch while Stacy did a Boston Crab.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is good. And you can tell Molly, like, telling Stacy, like, get the fuck out. Like, Trish is about to turn her back.
Yeah, Molly then goes up. She misses the Molly go-around.
Yeah.
Lita gets the hot tag, and, she low-key pops off. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, yeah, she does.
Decent hot tag.
What do you think of Lita this year at WrestleMania 39?
Dog shit. Absolutely the worst part of that match.
And I think it was just like the rest of the skill level that was in the match. Like, Lita can still go, but like the other women in that match can like ball right now.
My thing with Lita is she just has a style that does not age well. Like,
That's
as you
fair.
lose your athleticism, it's like I don't know, man. You've noticed it with Jeff a lot, especially in the last like 5 or 6 years. Like, Jeff is not, it's not the same. No. Jeff is also fucking insane and is willing to do some shit to himself that is not good to make things look okay.
That people
whereas
should not
Lita is not, and she's correct. She should not be forcing herself to do things that would endanger her. And it's like the safe version of Lita, and Lita, her move set and also her character were not made to be safe.
No. The hot tag here, though, is very good. Clotheslines, head scissors, runs both women in the corner. She calls for Tori to set up for the poetry in motion, but Molly ends up leaping off of Tori's back to clothesline Lita.
Also, Brock Lesnar.
Tori then catapults Molly into Stacy. Lita hits the twist of fate, and our baby faces win in the UK. And then within by the end of this month, the Invasion storyline would be wrapped up because that's Survivor Series 2001.
Trish took her ass out, by the way, Stacy Keibler.
Yes.
Took her ass out in this match.
Like I said, was the Duchess of Dudleyville, but then her role with Dudley Boys came to an abrupt end during the Raw after WrestleMania when she was powerbombed through a table and accidentally costing the team a match. That is more development on a Raw after Mania than we got this year. So that's unfortunate. One of her next endeavors was, her next big thing was a challenge for the WWF Women's Championship. Stacy's first ever title shot was at Judgment Day 2002 versus Trish Stratus. The only storyline implications that I got from the build was that Trish showed up Stacy in a swimsuit competition on the SmackDown that week by showing up in her underwear.
I'm okay with that.
That was the build that we were allowed to get in the year 2002 for the women's division. That was
look, if it makes you feel better, that was also my favorite match of this past weekend. I got to see Trish Stratus and Bayley in a match.
That's fair. I have a very important question about this match.
Go on.
Why the fuck is Reverend Devon here with Deacon Batista?
I mean, I like to think, well, to be fair, Stacy Keibler at this point is Vince McMahon's personal assistant.
Yes.
For whatever reason. So I assume he sent Devon out there because he has a history with Stacy and would protect her or interfere or something. I don't know, man. And then Bubba comes out to corner Trish. That one was the one that concerned me the most because, like, what's he here for? To put her through a table again?
That's true. And Bubba's the babyface.
What are we, like 3 weeks removed from seeing him put Trish through a table?
But Bubba's the babyface here, and Devon's the heel. And Deacon Batista is this goon with a collection box and a weird shifty eye is now the best wrestler turned actor we've ever made. Wild.
Yeah.
I am not wrong in that assessment, by the way. If you have
No,
to
you're
rank,
not.
it goes Batista, then John Cena, then The Rock in terms of actual acting ability. John Cena has more range than The Rock as an actor. He does.
I just feel like we need to talk more about Luther Reigns' performance in The Girl Next Door.
What about Kevin Nash in the Punisher movie?
I just feel like Luther Reigns deserved Best Supporting Actor for his role in The Girl Next Door in 2004.
Well,
Five?
I love
Five?
all. I will acknowledge all members of the Reigns clan. All right. What do you think of this contest?
I don't know. This was fine. I guess it's not their best match together. Honestly, it kind of sucks. Look, it's fine if you consider both their skill levels. Like Trish still isn't Trish at this point.
She's right in that time where she is kind of morphing into the really
Yeah,
talented in ring performer.
like she's starting to do stuff. It doesn't look great, but at least she's trying.
Yeah. And
You
Stacy
know,
has
and
grown a lot from the Bash in the Beach match. Like in that
yeah,
time, significant improvement.
I mean, also considering there's no focus on the women here, and they're more so
Yeah.
used as sex objects than they are, actual quality
Or
wrestlers. So they
prizes
probably don't
for
get,
some fucking reason.
yeah. So they don't get as much training,
Yeah.
probably in the grappling side of things. So
It is,
I don't
it is
expect that much development here.
it is one of the things that I most appreciate going back and doing these. Like I loved Stacy Keibler growing up. I thought she was awesome. But like now when I go back and watch it in the critical lens, I'm like, wow, we didn't let women do anything in wrestling for a long
Yeah.
time.
By the way, this match actually is the one that has the least bullet points for me. I do have a couple though. Stacy does a roundhouse kick that actually looked pretty fucking cool.
I think if that thing actually connected, it could take your face off.
She's not really. We always remember Stacy Keibler for the legs, and she's got super long legs. So they're stunning, all this stuff. She really does have long legs.
She really does have long legs.
By the way, I don't understand the obsession with the legs. Like her legs just look like normal people legs. Like
I don't know, man. They're good legs.
Like,
How tall do you think Stacy is?
she's probably like 5'7".
She's 5'11".
Huh?
Yeah.
Good for her.
She's almost 6 feet tall, and you can't.
Actually, that's stupid. No, because she's definitely significantly taller than Trish. And Trish is like 5'5". I don't know what I'm saying with that.
So yeah, the roundhouse kick, clothesline by Trish, a pair of them, Boston Crab on Stacy, and Stacy can bend.
It's the worst Boston Crab I have ever seen.
Stacy can sell though because she can bend like hell.
Yeah, but she's doing the Boston Crab like it's fucking old man Sting putting on the Scorpion Deathlock.
That's kind of true. We get some pin counters for a while. Neckbreaker by Trish. A head kick by Trish knocks Stacy to the outside, where Stacy proceeds to have a tantrum, something she's very good at doing.
By the way, it's a chick kick. She did the chick kick.
Did the chick kick, yeah.
But it's not a chick kick yet. It's just a head kick.
Yeah.
It's like when Sean would do the fucking Sweet Chin Music, but it wasn't the Sweet Chin Music yet. It was just a super kick.
Once Stacy's on the outside and she's having her tantrum, that's when the Dudley boys get involved. Bubba walks over to the former Duchess of Dudleyville and just stops, points at her, and laughs in her face.
And she gets upset and smacks him, and it pisses him off, and it brings back freaking Demon Hours, Bubba, who just does the blank stare. He takes off his glasses, does the blank stare. Batista gets in the ring because the ref is distracted by this nonsense going on out there. Scoop slams the ever-loving shit out of Trish. She bounced.
I did not know that was going to happen. I didn't realize that the Deacon Batista and the Word of the Lord would allow him to come in and scoop slam Trish Stratus.
I don't know, man. Drax would hit a woman.
Drax's hands are rated E for everyone. He doesn't give a fuck.
And
also,
listen, I don't know if you saw Cabin in the Woods or whatever the fuck that movie's called. Knock at the Door? Knock in the Woods?
Knock at the door.
Whatever that new movie, the M. Night Shyamalan movie that he's on. I mean, look, it's two gay guys and a little Asian child. Like, I didn't know we were freaking getting a movie where Cameron and Mitchell have to make a choice on Lily. But, if Deacon Batista is willing to kill the small Asian child, anything's on the table.
Anything is possible. It's sad, but it is true.
I'm upset that my Modern Family reference went over your head.
No, it didn't. I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm just letting it simmer for the people. Trish bounces, like you said. She completely bounces off the ring. Also, I'm glad you brought up Drax. I want one question. Who dies in Guardians of the Galaxy 3? Prediction.
Drax and Rocket.
I think it's
Locks.
just Drax. I think Rocket. They're pushing
Oh
Rocket.
no. Rocket has been in way too many promotional things.
I
He's
think
gone
it's a
though.
swerve. I think that's what it is. I think it's a swerve, bro.
Never a swerve. It is
Rockets.
literally never a swerve.
Trish kicks out, even though she got scoop slammed by Deacon Batista. We get a chin lock.
Well, it was a delayed pin.
Yeah,
To be fair,
chin lock by Stacy. You got a handful of hair by Stacy. Trish with a chick kick again. Batista's on the apron. Trish ducks and Stacy hits him by accident. We get a Stratisfaction Bulldog. Trish remains champion. It's not a Stratisfaction. It's just a Bulldog.
It's just a Jericho Bulldog where he grabs the head and does the Bulldog.
I'm taking you with me.
He doesn't even grab. No, he doesn't do it. It's the one arm, the hand on like the neck, and then he like brings
the
you
one
with
he uses to set up for the lion salt. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's basically that's what she did. She didn't do the bulldog, like the headlock bulldog.
It
that
definitely
she
wasn't
usually does
Stratisfaction.
with the rope.
You're right. Trish is not quite Trish yet, but she will.
It wasn't
be.
Stratisfaction. It was just Strat.
It was okay. We're gonna take a break. When we get back, we've got some more Stacy Keibler in WWE. Back from the break, we are skipping over Stacy's run as Test's manager, though it was really close in terms of the promo. Before I found out about the wedding, the promo was going to be when she reveals to the world that Test should have his testicles. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, you said what?
Yeah, I originally was going to make the promo where the one world where Stacy debuts the calling of Test's fans testicles. That was what it was going to be. But then we found this wedding, and I was like, we gotta talk about this nonsense instead. You should go and listen to our Test episode. You'll hear all about Stacy Keibler and Test there.
Yeah, there's a match on there.
There is, and it's about ownership of Stacy, which is really fucking weird to say. Oh, wrestling is still bad.
So bad.
Stacy was placed in a feud involving real life, like super good friend Tori Wilson and babyface Sable, both of whom had recently posed for a Playboy cover. Stacy aligned herself with Miss Jackie, neither of whom had posed for the magazine, claiming that they deserved to be in over Sable and Wilson. And this led to Stacy's one WrestleMania appearance as an active competitor. This is her one WrestleMania match, technically.
I did not know this was a match. I've seen WrestleMania 20 from beginning to end probably like 2 or 3 times. Never remember this.
Just blacked out and forgot about this part. It is the WrestleMania 20 Playboy evening gown match. Stacy and Miss Jackie versus Tori and Sable. Evening gowns, not fun to wrestle in, I would assume. Who do you think has the most inconvenient gear in wrestling? Whose gear looks like it's annoying as hell?
Like nowadays?
Nowadays. Or historical.
Oh my God. I mean, there have been some real bad. Like, I just feel like anyone, it happened with our boy Mabel and also that kid that's now in NXT, Quincy Miller, I think is his name. Like the big, like the big black fat guy that is in Odyssey Jones.
Quincy Elliott.
Yeah, that one. Quincy Miller, I'm pretty sure is actually Master P. Or whatever the fuck. I think it's his actual. No, not the little Romeo or whatever. I don't know.
Okay.
Whatever the fuck. One of those people was named Quincy. Anyways, the like jumpsuit that's leather.
Yeah, that's tough.
That gets real hot, man.
That's tough.
Real hot. I also feel like if you're in like a costume, that's tough.
Yeah.
Like, maybe if you're in like a really extravagant mask. Like I feel like the first Kane mask probably sucked to wrestle.
What I feel sucks is the Los Conquistadors, like the full body. There's no gaps.
Like the Johnsons.
Yeah, well, that and also you're a walking, talking dick. But evening gowns also not comfortable to wrestle in.
We got to talk about this at some point here because, all right, what do you think is an evening gown? Before this match, what was your definition of an evening gown? I think
they're a lot fancier than the gowns that the women come out in.
I thought evening gowns were just those like gowns that women wore to sleep in.
Oh, those are like nighties or nightgowns.
Is that not the same thing?
Well, no, because night is.
What is the difference between a night and a goddamn evening?
Evening is where you're still going out and doing things. Night is sleep time.
I was like, oh, these people are coming out here in fucking 90s, or if you're Hispanic like I am, batas. Like,
Nope, no batas. Instead, it is just like evening wear. But I thought these gowns would be a lot more extravagant than they are. It's WrestleMania, God damn it!
And so I wrote an evening gown match, bro. ... And then they started taking them off, and I wrote, never mind. Vince is in his bag.
This is Vince at his most Vincest Vince of all Vincing.
This
Sable,
is Vincenzo, if I've ever seen one.
Sable says she feels restricted, decides to not wrestle in her evening gown, takes it off. Stacy follows suit, so does Tori. Jackie doesn't, but Sable whips her over the top, and Sable and Tori just pull the gown off instead. That was not the point of the match, but now they're wrestling in their underwear, which really is not that far removed from what most wrestling gear for women wrestlers look like at this time. So,
yeah. Stacy's wearing
contest.
these like furry underwear that looks like super uncomfortable.
It's frilly. I wouldn't say it's furry. Furry is
it's like furry. No, it's like fur.
It's 100% frilly.
It's like fur. I don't know what frilly means, Evan. What is this? What are we doing here? Is this Canadian?
Frills. I don't know what else. No, frills aren't Canadian.
Frills sounds like a fucking disgusting seafood dish. I don't know what's happening right now.
I want you to just look up something frilly. Just look up frilly.
What's frilly?
Frilly. F-R. Do you need me to spell it for you?
Yes.
Frilly.
Frilly socks.
Frilly. You'll see.
Is the first thing.
Frilly.
These are just normal socks. These are like little fucking. This is not frilly.
Don't look up socks. Just look up frilly. You'll see frilly dresses.
This is just like a sock.
Just look up frilly dresses.
Frilly dresses these are just like wavy dresses.
And that's what there's no
bro, those were fur. That was fur. Those were fucking like when you open up a book, like one of those kids' book, and there's like an elephant that has texture on it. That's what that fucking elephant feels like.
It is 1,000% frilly.
I want you know what, everyone, okay, this is not to be like fucking tell everyone, hey, go look at half-naked women wrestle. No, I want everyone to watch this fucking match just to stare at Stacy Keibler's ass, just so you can tell me that I'm right, because that's fucking fur. It's fake fur, most likely. I don't think she goddamn killed a chinchilla for that shit, but it's a goddamn fur panty thing.
Name me an animal with pink fur, you psychopath.
I'm afraid I said it's fake. Okay, they obviously dyed this shit. Also,
Stacy's also wrestling in heels.
Thank you.
Sorry?
Pigs. There are pigs that have pink goddamn fur. Like the furs that some pigs have fur. They're not all just goddamn oinks. They don't just all come as ham.
What a magical animal. Stacy's wrestling in heels to start, which is impressive because everybody else is barefoot. The actual wrestling is fine. It's not amazing.
Yeah, there's a snap. First off, Sable does a goddamn snapmare into a PK. Yeah, and I was like, oh, Sable's in her bag.
And then Tori hits a crossbody. I was like, okay.
Flying crossbody at that, too. Stacy tags in and does the exaggerated, like, bend on the middle rope into the ring. Yeah. It's very exaggerated. Then she comes in and then realizes, oh, I'm getting a reaction. So she pops back out again and then pops back in.
Stacy with a cartwheel reverses Tori in the corner using her legs. You get the high foot choke. Tori does like a sunset flip, kind of, and then they trade some rolling pins.
They just trade pins.
Roundhouse kick by Stacy. 2 count for that. Jackie gets back in, and then Tori hits an underrated spear.
Yeah, that was a spear and a half.
That was like Edge is backstage taking notes. Like, that was a spear.
And the crazy thing was, it wasn't even. I don't think it was supposed to be a spear. I think it was supposed to be like a Thess press.
I don't think it was supposed to be
around after that.
I hate this fucking spot. They do it in so many matches where there's women in like their underwear and even without, where there's like, let's roll over top of the referee. Why has this come up in so many of our episodes? It's such a weird fucking spot.
Well, when you cover women from a certain era, Evan,
where this is all, I know this was part of the program for the time.
Are you ready for the cat? Shit. The cat episode is going to drive you mental.
The cat episode is going to be bananas. Jackie slaps Tori. Tori rolls through and pins her. Like, that's the end of the match.
Like, why couldn't it end with that spear? That spear was excellent. Like, I gained a whole newfound appreciation for Tori. Have we done Tori Wilson on this podcast?
We have, a long time ago.
Yeah, we did. And like, I just gained a whole lot more respect for her because that spear was fucking sick. Like, that was a Goldberg spear. Man, that was some, actually not even, it was better than Goldberg. That was some Broad Breaker type shit.
Tori Wilson was episode 84. Go back and listen to that. Yeah.
It's like a year ago.
This is a long, long time ago. Yeah, all I wrote at the end of this was content. This is content. Sure.
It's such good shit.
WrestleMania. All right, our last Stacy Keibler match is another match for the Women's Championship, once again against Trish Stratus. The clip that we have, this is from the October 11th, 2004 Raw. It's the whole opening intro of Raw. And we're in... I love this intro.
My generation, I'll take the fall.
So good.
It's my favorite.
We're in the UK for this Raw. The AEW is going to the UK. You excited for that?
Yeah, man, they're going to fucking Wembley.
They are. That's big.
Which is fucking huge, by the way, because it's Wembley. It's a fucking 100,000 seat arena. I doubt they'll get anywhere near that many seats opened up. But look, I'm excited. It's All In. Shout out to All In coming back after 4 years, right? That was 2018.
It'll be All In and then All Out, apparently. Anthony Bowens said that All Out is not going to be taken off the schedule. It'll be All In and then the week later, All Out.
Interesting. I'm curious to see how they do it. I think it's probably going to be an interpromotional type deal. Maybe they bring like the ROH guys. Maybe there's some New Japan, some CMLL or AAA or whatever.
Some other partners that way. That's what people are predicting, that All In is going to be a lot more like dream match focused, and then All Out will continue to be like the usual AEW pay-per-view.
Yeah. I will say if you're ever going to have Will Ospreay challenge for the AEW World Title, I do feel like All In's probably where you do it.
A pretty good spot to do it. Very big exciting things for AEW. But for this week's Raw, like I said, we have the whole intro, including everything that we're going to get on this week's Raw. I was hyped for this card.
I might watch this Raw. Yeah. I might go back and watch it.
Trish versus Stacy for the Women's Championship. La Resistance defending the tag titles against Eugene and William Regal. And then
this is wrestling heritage right here.
And then a six-man tag, Evolution versus Shawn Michaels, Edge, and Dipshit.
It's such good shit.
Also, we got moving graphics on a Raw. I fucking loved this era.
My favorite thing is AEW have started doing moving graphics. It's fucking great. Tony Khan, Booker of the Century.
When the moving graphics came back for WrestleMania, I popped. I was like, oh, good. Yeah.
Well, guess what? Now we don't have Papa H, so we've lost our movie. You know, he's going to make they announced that he's going to make an announcement on SmackDown, and I'm concerned as to what that announcement is.
They specified it's not an announcement. He's addressing the universe. Two very different things.
So, like, are the aliens going to get a feed for this? Is that what he means?
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, they deserve it. Sky Box Office? I don't know. What did you think of the contest?
A little red button to follow along. Anyways, that's a Formula One reference. Stacy's rocking a United kit, and I want to kill myself.
Hell yeah, United. Let's fucking go.
Nah, fuck Manchester United. You guys fucking blow. I don't care how many goddamn trophies you've got. That's why, I understand that City will always be... I understand City will always be little brother in Manchester, but you know what? 4 titles in 5 years. Suck my dick. Also, I hope you guys miss out on top 4. Plus, Marcus Rashford is a luck merchant. Plus, Eric Ten Hag has 50 points through 27 games, or 28 games, or whatever. He had 50 points through 27 games. And if you look at last season, Manchester United's worst season literally ever through 27 games. Their combined managers of Ole, Gunnar Solskjaer, and whoever the fuck they brought on in the back half of the season, I don't remember. They had a combined, I think it was like 47. So fuck you guys. You guys fucking blow. Anyways, that's my Manchester United rant. Let's keep going with the podcast.
I'm sorry, I don't speak broke. So sucks to suck.
The oil club. They're the ones with all the money.
Shh, nobody cares. All right. The actual match itself is so fucking smoky because they opened with all the pyro and they're indoors. So for the first little bit, they're just like hot boxing the arena in Manchester. It's pretty weird. What'd you think of the in-ring action here?
It was fine. I mean, Trish is clearly better. Stacy's clearly been trying.
Yeah. Stacy has a set arsenal that she can do comfortably in the ring and safely.
Yeah, that's all you can ask for. I mean, she cartwheels around when Trish on Trish, and then gets like the dude. She does the foot choke in the corner thing that she does. Stacy's fucking over. I know it's because she's wearing a Manchester United kit, and
but also
Trish is probably the heel. Yeah.
Stacy
does
she thumbs Stacy in the eyes.
Yeah, Stacy here at one point does a Briscoe roll, which was the
Yeah.
sunset flip from the corner spot, which is great. Shout out to the Briscoes. I wanted to, or the old Briscoes, Jack and Gerald.
Yeah.
Wanted to do one of them, but
Yeah. They'll be in the future for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're old. It's probably gonna be real hard to find people from the 70s.
Oh
and
man, it's
60s
hard to
and
find
shit.
anything before 1980 is hard to find on YouTube. That's for
Bro,
damn
anything
sure.
in 1980, even in the 80s, it's hard to find people.
Trish dodges the spin kick with a spin roundhouse kick by ducking to the outside. Trish brings Stacy to the corner and runs her leg into the ring post. And now this is our first really experience seeing Stacy sell anything in particular. She's pretty good. I mean, it's not hard. You have the longest legs
It's
in
a
the world.
leg.
Pretend one is hurt.
Yeah, I mean, look, this woman's just gonna keep fucking your knee up. Do
Yeah.
something about it.
She kicks her leg out from under her. We had a half Boston crab where Stacy is, again, like her foot is touching the top of her head. She's being bent that much.
She's very bendy.
It's very
Now,
bendy.
admittedly, her legs are 3/4 of her body. So
That helps. Trish is mean as hell right now. That was one of my only notes. I was like, wow, heel Trish is a bitch. She's so good at this. This is awesome.
She does the hanging corner choke, like the hangman
Yeah.
choke in the corner, which is fucking fun. She only does it for like a second, but still, it's pretty cool. Stacy off of that hangman choke does a middle rope snapmare for a near fall. She counters the Stratisfaction, but as Trish turns around, she then just kicks her right in the knee and then follows up with a chick kick.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Trish Stratus retains her title.
After the match, Molly Holly attacks and is a heel, so she attacks Stacy with Trish. Who comes to make the save first?
Nydia.
Nydia in like wrestling gear, which was uncomfortable to me. Nydia should be in the trailer park gear all the time.
Literally, she should look like discount ODB the whole time. I don't know what's going
Gail
on here.
Kim comes out and also attacks Nydia, and then Victoria makes a save for the baby faces. And all I'm seeing here is like, I associate everybody who's on the face side being more of a heel normally. Maybe Stacy's the exception. And then on the heel side, I'm like, all of you should be baby faces, with Molly being the exception, maybe.
I don't know. Like I never thought Nydia as a trailer park. Like I know she was a heel, but I never thought
She
of her as
shouldn't have
one.
been, yeah.
She's awesome.
Her blindfold match against Jamie Noble is still one of my favorites. It's so funny.
Cover that? Did we cover that on this podcast?
We did, because I'm pretty sure we did Jamie Noble before.
Jesus.
We have covered a lot of wrestling. Speaking of wrestling, Keibler would have her last wrestling match in 2005. I want you to guess who it's against.
Is it Trish?
Nope. It was on Velocity, for some context.
Was it a man? Did she wrestle a man? Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on, I got this. 2005. Melina?
Nope. Her last match in 2005 on Velocity was against Jillian Hall. In the interim, some things that happened. One that I entirely forgot about. In February of 2005, Stacy began appearing in backstage segments with babyface Randy Orton as his on-screen girlfriend. And then Orton challenged Undertaker to a match at WrestleMania 21, ended the relationship with Stacy by hitting her with an RKO, and claimed it was how ruthless he could be in order to defeat The Undertaker. That is some weird male logic bullshit.
Well, yeah, remember he does the kiss. He kisses her in the ring and then just hits her with the RKO.
I do not remember that because it's psychotic. To be like, I need to prove I can beat The Undertaker. Let me RKO my girlfriend.
And then he lost.
Yeah, like a bitch. now you have no Stacy and no streak ending. You suck, Orton. Anyways,
my man's got no bitches and no dubs. Shout out.
Stacy joined forces with Hurricane and Rosie for a little bit of Super Stacy, complete with her own costume. And then, like I said, her last match against Jillian Hall in Velocity of 05, she actually took a break from WWE to go and compete on Dancing with the Stars, was the favorite going into the finale, but lost. She actually finished in third place on Dancing with the Stars. It
was like the second season, wasn't it?
It was the second season, yeah. And she was incredibly popular on the show, but she wasn't able to win. After her time on Dancing with the Stars is when her time with WWE, like she parted ways with them. She then was on some TV shows. She hosted a couple things. She was famously on Chuck, Psych, and How I Met Your Mother in one of my favorite episodes, Girls versus
Bartender.
Suits. Yeah. How Barney had never had sex with a bartender before. I love that episode. It has a great musical number at the end.
It's like episode 100 too.
It
I
is
think
episode
it's like a
100.
milestone
Yeah.
episode. Yeah.
What do you think going back and looking at the career of Stacy Keibler?
It was cool, man. Look, I think that Stacy, for the era that she was in, for the limitations that she did have, I thought she absolutely did the most to maximize her career. She really was never going to be a focal point as far as the in-ring product, which is unfortunate. But she for what she was a character that will absolutely be remembered. Like she's someone that 20 years from now, when I think back about wrestling in the 2000s, I will think of Stacy Keibler. Because for better for worse, her and women like Tori Wilson and even Nydia and people like that, like those are people who made an impact. I'm not going to remember her for her wrestling, unfortunately, but what I honestly will remember her is, that stuff with Orton, her managing Test, her being the Dudley Diva or whatever she was, the Duchess of Dudleytown.
Dudleyville.
Yeah, or Dudleyville, stuff like that. Like, I'm always going to remember Stacy for her character work more so than, the bra and panties stuff or her going bell to bell. Because she was fucking entertaining. She was a really entertaining character.
Wrestling needs... Sometimes wrestling needs people who feel like people you could meet in real life, if that makes sense. Like, that was, I think, the appeal of both Stacy and Tori. Like, yes, they're beautiful women, but also they seemed like real people who were in this really weird fucking world. And they're like, let me try to figure out what to do. I'm going to align myself with the Dudleys. They're psychotic people who put people through tables, but like, I can have fun with them. They're all right. They'll protect me. Like, they're in this weird world and they're trying to figure out what's going on around them. They seemed like genuine human beings. And like everything you hear about Stacy Keibler, similar to Tori, salt of the earth. What a lovely person. Like, amazing person.
She was a fan, man. I think that's
the thing is she loved the business too.
Yeah. She was a fan who decided to try her hand in this at a significantly young age. Like, I don't even remember what the fuck I was doing at 21. I know you don't remember what you were doing at 21.
Age joke an hour in? This is horse shit.
It was more of a drunk joke an hour in.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
21, brother. You were blackout most of the week.
Hey, we start drinking at 19 here in Canada. The other thing that I think people remember about Stacy Keibler is like she was very, very famous at one point because she was dating George Clooney. Like, that's how a lot of people who aren't wrestling fans know Stacy Keibler, is because she was dating George Clooney. I think she was his last girlfriend before Amal.
Oh shit!
Yeah, before. Yeah, I think she was the last boyfriend, and now she
good for them.
Married to like longtime friend Jared Pabra, who is a CEO for Future Ads, and they have 2 daughters and a son.
Nice. Oh, that's good. By the way, I didn't see the Hall of Fame speech. I didn't see the entire ceremony. I didn't watch any of the ceremony yet. Still, she looks fucking amazing. When they brought her out at WrestleMania, like they do on night 2 with the legends, they do the whole little ceremony thing. She looks fucking like she hadn't aged a day.
Yeah.
Which is insane. Not only is she, she's probably 40 or touching 40. Yeah, she's definitely 40 at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's got 3 kids, and she looks like she has not aged a day. She looks the exact same. That is mental to me. Like, she's fucking one of one generational goddamn genes. I don't even know how you can do some shit like that. But no, I mean, she's awesome. She's made a career in the wrestling business, outside of the wrestling business. And more than anything, she was probably the happiest person of any of the people that got inducted this weekend.
Yeah.
Just straight up happy. Obviously, with Rey, listen, Rey Mysterio could be obviously grateful. He could be emotional about it, every stuff. Rey Mysterio knew he was going in the Hall of Fame.
Well, Rey was happy, but he was also preoccupied with beating the crap out of his kid in 24 hours.
Yeah, but also he knew he was going into the Hall of Fame at some point here.
That's true.
I feel like that's also a thing.
There is that cutoff of like guaranteed first ballots, and then there's people who make the Hall of Fame like, I didn't know if I would actually get in. Like, this is amazing. Yeah. You hear that with like a lot of like guys who like offensive linemen. I feel like in the NFL where they're like
Joe Thomas.
I was like 14 years as a top level guard. Am I going to make it in the Hall of Fame? Or I'm gonna get supplanted by
He
3
finally
receivers.
made it. He was like super emotional and all this stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, come on. Yeah, you weren't first ballot, but that's more of a fuck up on the goddamn voters than your
Yeah.
talent. Come on.
Though I will say the NFL Hall of Fame still makes a lot more sense than the Baseball Hall of Fame. Baseball Hall of Fame sucks.
Don't even get me
Anywho,
started on that shit.
that is it for this week's episode. You should follow us on social media. Javier, where can people find you on social media?
I'm on the Twitter machine at JMelloSports. It's in the link of the main account. Sauce the boy a follow.
Follow me at @7gomes, ITSEVANGOMES. Follow the podcast, most importantly, at Crossbody of Work on Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube. Go subscribe to our YouTube account, youtube.com/crossbody of work. Go to fullpresswrestling.com for all the links to all the matches. Go watch the David Flair wedding, too. That was weird. If you had to suggest a match this week, Javier, which one would it be?
It's the fuzzy ass. The furry ass. It just is. I don't care what you say. I'm going to suggest that. I mean, no, realistically, it's probably the... I mean, I don't know. I thought the last match was fun.
It's that or the last Trish match, probably.
I think it's the last Trish match.
Yeah.
Just because it's like, I just fucked up that so bad. Wow. It's probably the last Trish match. There we go. Just more for the intro to Raw than anything.
It'll get you hyped up. Also, go check to see their frilly panties. Go to fullpressshop.com, cop the merch, support the boys. Javier's got one of the shirts on right now. Crossbody Work Blockbuster tee. Go buy that. Look cool like your friends. Yeah. Your friends being us, because we look cool. Yes, and wherever you are listening, be sure to rate 5 stars. It helps the boys out tremendously. And be sure to subscribe. Next week is a special episode. We, instead of looking at a wrestler, are looking at 5 of the most important instances of guest referees in wrestling. It is a special guest referee episode suggested by superfan King Chad.
Shout out to King Chad, an absolutely a loyal listener. That man is around every week.
Since like week 4. He's been in it.
Chad's been here a long time. We've been here too long at this point. I feel like Chad knows our podcast better than we do.
He knows the system. So he suggested one. So we're going to do special guest referees. All of the special guest referee matches are from WWE. So we're looking at 5 WWE special guest referee matches. A variety. They span from 1997 to 2022. So a variety of matches next week. I'm excited. Should be a good time.
Very good time. And I love the special guest referee stipulation. We need more of that shit in wrestling.
Time for everyone's most favorite part of the podcast. Javier, any final words for the people?
This week on Life Advice with Javier, it's honestly kind of practical more than anything. And it's like not going to be it's a game changer for everyone here. But as far as stakes, it's not very high. This right here is a new water bottle that I got this like a couple days ago, Evan.
Okay.
This is the greatest purchase I have ever made.
Oh, geez.
This fucking water bottle right here is amazing. Okay. And you know what it has showed me? Is that truly what everyone needs is a goddamn good water bottle.
That's true.
But not just a good water bottle, a good home water bottle.
Yes.
There's a difference between a house water bottle and a water bottle that you could take out of the house.
Yeah.
House water bottle, you could just have a straw. It's only straw. The one I got, it's basically a tumbler. It's not a tumbler, but it's basically a tumbler. It's great. It insulates. It's fantastic. Everyone needs a good house water bottle. You know why? Because they're easy to clean. They got a straw. They're very good specifications for you. I drink a shit ton of water. This is absolutely perfect for me. Get a good house water bottle, but make sure that your house water bottle is not the same as your out water bottle, because the out water bottle's got to be one that closes so that you can be fucking hygienic. You gross people who
I got a work water bottle. I got an out and about water bottle, and I got a home water bottle. You gotta have a variety. You gotta have. Yeah.
Everyone applaud this man.
Stay hydrated, my friends. I'm also in the process of cutting caffeine and soda out of my life. So, like, I've been drinking so much goddamn water.
I like to think that the best thing I ever did for my health was just never really being that into soda and stuff.
Yes.
Like, I don't know. I drank it like when I was a kid, but, not like frequently enough that I got like hooked on it. Like, I'd never drink soda. Even now, like, I only really drink soda. Like, honestly, even when I used to say it was like whenever I went to like a fast food restaurant or something, I'd get a soda. But nowadays, honestly, I just get lemonade.
Yeah, I'm trying to get out of that life. I've been a big soda guy for way too many years. So,
brother, seltzer water, changing
seltzer
lives over
water,
here.
Soda Streams, baby. All right, sponsor us, Soda Stream. We're back next week. We got some special guest referees for you. We will talk to you then. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.